Well, that's not good. I'm not really sure why my internet's not connected to that on my phone, but whatever. I'll deal with that later. Need to make sure I'm actually live and it's actually recording my voice. And then we'll be good to go. Okay, that's good. Actually recording my voice. All right, we're good. Nice. All right, everything's good. Okay, so let's go through this. So the big thing with Cloak, all right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, the biggest thing with Cloak is you cannot make mistakes on this character. You have to be very, very proactive in that you know what you're doing and know what you're using your abilities for. Okay? When it comes to playing this game, I'm just gonna go in general real fast. I normally don't like to do this with VOD reviews, but I'm gonna go through it real quick. When it comes to VOD reviews, it comes down to a couple things. It comes down to picks and pick sixes. Same with football, okay? Imagine you're the quarterback when you play healer. It's very important. Just think of yourself like that. You see the whole battlefield. You see when to do certain things, who to heal when, who might be a threat. You have to read the battlefield. That is your main job when you are playing support, which is also the reason why you should be using comms when you play support, so you can give out the information and things you see to your team. I digress, though. So picks and pick sixes. Here, a pick is when you do something that takes away your agency as a player and basically gives agency to the enemy team to potentially either A, punish you, or to just punish you, basically. And what happens is either your team is good enough to bail you out of whatever bad thing it is you did, or the enemy team is too bad to recognize the bad thing you did and punish you for it. So that's usually a pick. If your team is not good enough to bail you out, or the enemy team just hard punishes you for it, and there's nothing you can basically, and you lead to a cascade of series of bad events, that is a pick six. The more pick sixes you make, the worse your impact on the game typically will be. Okay? And that's typically how you lose games. Typically, it's through making a lot of pick sixes. Now, there are going to be games where you get teammates who all they do is make pick sixes. But as long as you're not Celestial or higher, usually both teams will be making around the same amount of mistakes, and it'll be up for you to basically exploit it. When you get to Celestial, that's where it gets bad, because if your teammate makes a pick six, usually enemy team is not as bad, and it's usually somebody who shouldn't be at that elo, basically. Or somebody who just doesn't care about the game, for whatever reason. Like somebody's like, I just want to play Spider-Man. Okay, well then that might be a pick six, basically. But anyway, all right, let's get to it. So I think you're going to play Cloak, right? Okay, Bands, solid. Well, you're playing Loki. What the fuck? I thought you were playing Cloak. I could have sworn I saw Cloak in your history. Oh, well, I know a little Loki, so I kind of don't want to watch your Loki, though. Whatever. I will just for shits and giggles here. Okay, it's good. Well, now you know you're playing versus Moon Knight, so you got to be a little bit careful. How you... Okay. Alright, I would be careful where you're putting these clones out as you're playing versus Moon Knight. You'll get your team killed. Okay. Alright, you got a Jeff. This would be a perfect time to play Cloak if you're playing Jeff. Because you just nullified the whole Jeff and he can't play the game. I like the triangle, though, by the way, to kill the Jeff, though, force him out. That Jeff is trolling. I'm guessing you swapped to Cloak probably because Jeff ult eats you guys one good time and you get sick of it. Right? Because again, right, I'm going to guess you swapped to Jeff out. You swapped to Cloak after this. Because usually if I'm playing Loki and I'm versus Jeff and he does this one time to me, I'm like, all right, I'm not dealing with this anymore. This character can't play the game versus me anymore. Or maybe you just let it keep happening. Yeah, I would swap to Cloak here immediately. And not give, because you literally can play Cloak and Jeff loses all value. But, alright, okay. I'm not even sure how you were there, I don't care. Are we still on Loki? Okay, we're still on Loki. Alright, when do we go Cloak here? What's going on? Okay, you get the first point. When do you swap? I'm curious now, this is... Jesus, man. Okay, you're on Invis. Oh, you're playing fucking... You're still Loki. Okay.
The current score is 0-1.
Okay. All right, whatever. That round ended, whatever. Okay, now we're on Cloak. Okay, let's see it. Okay. Your co-support is Jeff. No, you're running You're running... No, your co-support is... Luda. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
I would like to definitely see a little more damage on Loki if you're playing Loki. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. That's for another day. Okay. Alright, so first thing I'm seeing here is you're playing way too passive on Cloak. Part of what gets you good healing numbers on Cloak and eliminations and assists and all the good stuff is consistently having impact. So look at this right here. This is a good example of not how to play Cloak proactively. What are you doing right now? You're in the back. You're hanging out with Luna. You guys are just kind of twiddling your fingers. What could you do that's more proactive? There's no threats currently, Nifu. You don't know if you're versus dive, so this is already kind of questionable where you're standing, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, what could you do? You could be here to help your tanks. And what I mean by that is you guys are way in the back in Narnia. I don't know why you're this far back. Like, this is really weird to be this far back. Because if you were versus dive and they jumped on you, you guys would have to like run forward and like beg Bucky for help and yada yada. You don't need to be this far back. Your Luna shouldn't be this far back either. But this is just saying. This is just like bad decisions. You guys should be more like right here. Why? You're closer to Bucky if you need help, right? It's gonna get his attention because if let's say a magic jumps on you from like here, she's gonna charge her slash. Throw it. Somebody's going to die. Bucky's going to turn around and be like, oh, shit, my supports are dead, and it's not going to be pretty. But if you were standing, like, up here, right, with him, not necessarily on him. You don't have to be on him. You don't have to rub butt cheeks. But, like, you could, like, you know, right here. Oh, when Magic jumps on you, he literally can just turn around and be like, what the hell? And shoot her. He doesn't have to run back to save you, or you don't have to run forward to him or whatever. So this is already a weird place to be at. But secondly, you have one of the most powerful techniques in the game, and you have to utilize it on Cloak in order to play her properly. The blind. The blind is so much pressure. It is a 30% damage amp, basically, on whoever gets hit with it. And it's a lot of pressure. It's blinding. You can't see, all that good stuff. So what you typically want to do is you want to be in a position where you can constantly be throwing this out and fishing for people on it, whether it's going to hit their front line, back line, whatever. So you don't want to be here. You probably want to be somewhere around here so that you can do this. Do the little wiggle. You got a health pack there if you really need to get in there maybe. You can use this for cover. You're closer. And also, the second thing about Cloak, very important, is you want to kind of play near your teammates because unless it's most cases, because your dagger, your primary, heals you too. So if you're like, let's say you're like 50 HP and Bucky is full HP in front of you, you can literally primary hit Bucky and it won't heal Bucky, but it will explode on Bucky and it will heal you as it hits him. Even if your bubble's on cooldown or whatever, you can still heal yourself on Cloak. That's why she's so good and has so much agency. You don't need to be this far back. This is a weird spot to be at. This is like letting the enemy, like you're letting the enemy team walk into you. Don't do that. And also, they're down a Jeff already, which if you see this, you should see this Jeff. You should recognize they're playing basically a 5v6. That Jeff is trolling, whatever the hell he's doing. This is trolling. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Unless he's trying to play flank Jeff, which again is stupid as hell. But look, okay, you have to respond to this. Bubble. Okay, kill that. Okay, now blind. Good blind. Nice. Okay. Window. I would have liked to see a healing window a lot sooner there. You are definitely using your cooldowns in a way where you're kind of letting the enemy team get more advantage than they should. You need to be a little bit faster with this. Like, see, that Bucky, if you had done the window earlier, you would have maybe healed him up more so that he wouldn't have been that low and doesn't die there. Okay, bubble immediately, because that guy's going to die. Right? Perfect. Good bubble. Okay, we gotta window this probably. Let's see. Okay, window. Okay, walk. Okay. Okay, good. Walk up. Okay, yep. See, it's just a cascading set of events. This is done. This fight's done. It's cooked. Back up. You've lost this. Okay. All right. So, second thing. I was wondering why you weren't doing this, and I guess I just you probably don't know. When you're versus Moon Knight, you have two options when he throws an onk on you. You can bubble and try to stat check heal through it, or you can fade it and get distance away from it. His ult, you must always fade it and get distance away from. The instant you hear this and you see this coming on you, you need to swap to cloak, fade away. You literally could swap to cloak, hit your fade, max fade. Just means don't hit any abilities while you're faded, basically, so you stay fade as long as possible. It's kind of like Vayne, if you ever played Vayne. Just fade, cloak, fade all the way back, out this door, you're gone. And also, if you're Luna smart and doesn't attack during this while she's faded, she'll get out too. And maybe this guy. Instead, you just face check it. And just face tank it, and die. You can't die in positions like this on Cloak. What makes Cloak really, really good is her uptime. So when you play Cloak, your deaths should be like very, very, very low. Unless you're versus super heavy dive. And even then, your deaths should still be on the lower side if your team is kind of slightly aware of what's going on. Okay? Reset, that's fine. Okay, I like this. Okay. Good bubble. Blind. Ooh. This was not needed. I wouldn't have done this here. Let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about this. I get the effort. I still wouldn't have done it. Let's talk about it, though. Okay, you die here, whatever. You come back. Also, your co-support is not building ult very fast. Holy shit, she is getting cooked. Alright, whatever. Also, that's another thing. Healing window is good for your co-support too, because it increases the healing received by the person, which means your co-support will heal better and heal faster, or will build ult faster. That's another thing to keep in mind. Okay, so here, you guys are like a net neutral. What I would have done here is throw the bubble down, which you did, right? And then after that, because what you did here is, this is everybody in the game being, I'm gonna say it, I don't care. This is everybody in the game being awful. This is a circumstance of everybody in this game being very, very, very bad, in my opinion, because you are 1 minute into the game. Magneto has won, basically, well, I don't know if Magneto's won, but basically, 1 minute of the game, you would assume, what is up with these ult charges? Why is nobody on either team building ult? Actually, I'm not even, you know what, I don't know what's going on. Usually, in my opinion, Mag would have ult by here. This is a minute into this game, and he has not built ult. I'm actually genuinely concerned, and I kind of want to look back and see what happened with this Mag. I don't know why he's only at 63. That's actually kind of crazy. I'm actually very concerned why this Mag is only at 63. Like, everybody is so low. I'm not really sure why nobody's building ult charge. Maybe it's something I'm missing. No, okay, so this is a good I'm going to use this as a good example of why I'm confused. Okay, good example. So, if you run 3 supports, usually you will build ult charge like slightly lower than the 2 supports. Their invis is at 81. Your invis is at 74. So I'm not sure how their invis is building ult charge faster than your invis. That's the concern. I don't understand what happened, but whatever. It is what it is. Okay, you have ult here. Everything is net neutral even. And it's in your favor. You're already winning. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you look at this fight from where you are, from where your position is, I don't know where your position. If you look at the fight from this position, your Moon Knight just ulted, okay? So when your Moon Knight ults, think of the game like, again, tempo. Very important tempo, okay? Moon Knight ulting is like, hopefully you play football, or you're just in football. If not, this is going to sound really weird. But Moon Knight ulting is like basically your wide receiver just like got a bunch of yards, and you're on first down. You are already winning, and it's up for the enemy team to stop you. You don't need to put more pressure, basically, and do risky things when you're already winning. That's why football teams don't throw the ball every single fucking run. But anyway, all right, let me leave football because I don't know if you actually play football. So here's the deal. Moon Knight ult is going down. What does this mean for the enemy team? The enemy team is now dealing with the pressure of the Moon Knight ult. How do they respond to this ult? Do they heal through it? Do they back away? Do they just die in it? These are questions that you need to find out before you respond. If they're just going to die in this Moon Knight ult, or if one person or two people are going to die in this Moon Knight ult, the fight's over. You don't have to do anything. If they're going to back out of it, the fight's over. You don't have to do anything. If their Sue had ult here and drops her ult down right here, that's fine. Who cares? Nobody's dying and whatever. That's fine. Let Sue waste her ult. Or not even waste it, but let her use her ult. After her ult is gone, you've now traded Moon Knight for Sue ult. Now, you can ult as Cloak and Dagger, come right through these guys, kill everybody. Cart gets pushed back, they all wipe, they come back and try it again. What you've done just now is you've taken away the agency and the potential for Moon Knight to kill people in his ult and stacked your ult on top of it, saying that even if Moon Knight was going to kill people, I'm going to make sure he super kills people. Which, when you do that, you basically let the enemy team come back and have all their resources to use on you. Because essentially what you're doing here is you're trading, use Yu-Gi-Oh! You got a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card that might basically kill the enemy team. Might win you the game. But instead of waiting to see if your opponent is even going to be able to deal with the card and if they're going to lose to the card, you say, you know what? I'm going to throw down a second card on top of it. Just to make sure it works. But it doesn't matter if it works here with two cards because then they still get to come back with their own cards. Let them waste resources to deal with this ultimate before you layer something else on top of it. So I can tell you right now your ult usage is bad, basically. Or not optimal. This is a lot of Cloak and Daggers do this kind of stuff, so it's really not like it's bad, but it's not something I wouldn't unexpect from somebody who was like asking. Okay, so we kill 2 people. Cool. Nice. Alright. Okay, hopefully that guy doesn't die. Nice, he doesn't. Cool. Okay. Your Sue should have ult now. She does. Nice. Okay, so let's see how we lose this. We are chilling. Now remember, if we build 2 windows, it's time to start using some blinds, maybe. Because everybody's full HP. Blind. Blind, don't let him walk up for free. Okay, so here we go. That's what I mean. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you walk here for like 2 seconds, right here, and just throw your blind out, that square is going to hit probably everybody. And everybody's going to get blinded and have to back up. Or somebody might even die. Which means you just win the fight again, even more. You need to fish with your blinds more. Okay? Okay. I think you're strange as Eye of Agamottoing, which means you need to blind and kill people. You hear Eye of Agamotto, you should be walking forward. You're walking back. Okay. I want to see what you do to this. You know Eye of Agamotto went off. You know Bucky's ult went off. You know Sue has ult. What do you do? Okay, that's not really your fault. You should have... That is your fault. You should have walked forward, though, probably, when they ulted, so you could walk in this ult and keep an eye on your team. But I don't expect you to know that, but that's something you should have done. This is a prime example, by the way. What I was talking about with that Moon Knight ult thing. Moon Knight ults here, which, by the way, he shouldn't have, because he'd already won the fight. This is a throw from that Moon Knight to ult here. But anyway, Moon Knight ults here, and your Sue ults in exchange for no reason. Everybody on her team is dead. There was no reason for the Sue to ult here. She should have just let it go. Just let it go. Look at this. This is a prime example of why we don't do what you did earlier. That's what I was talking about. Number one, you could have potentially, I mean, if you still, this probably was still because of this thing. You needed to stop this, but this is a one-time thing, so it happens. But you shouldn't be like here. There's no way you're killing him in a Sue ult and in this. This is just dead. Let this go. What you should have done is not even gotten in here after this was already cooked, seen you and Sue, and just walked away and said, okay, we can't do anything. Technically, that's not true. What you could have done, and I will say this one also, what you could have done is you and Sue could have played back here, and then at this point right before the checkpoint, she could have ulted, right? You could have stalled in time for Strange to portal, and then if you had your ult and didn't waste it earlier, you would also have it here in time for Strange to portal, and then you might be able to portal this, fight them off, and maybe in the game here. But because you kind of wasted your ult earlier, and Sue just wasted her ult here, they get a free pass. Okay. And we could say Sue is bad here and shouldn't do that. But we also have to say conceptually you did the same thing where you wasted your ult underneath a Moon Knight ult for no reason. So you and Sue did the same thing, but hers was way more punished based off the circumstance of the game. But you still did the kind of the same thing any also, because you also walked forward and got yourself killed by trying to kill a Jeff in his ult. You cannot have deaths like that when you play strategists. Okay, so here we're full HP. I mean, not we're full HP. We're full windows. Use a window. Use a window. You got to use a window way sooner than that. You cannot use these windows as, oh my god, oh shit buttons. You've got to use these windows as, let's not get there. Okay, blind. Good. Okay. We do not ult this. And I'm hoping you know that. We still don't ult this. Good windows. Just healing through this. I'm going to tell you how this probably ends. Because this ult is not a good ult, number one. Number two, there's no threat to be ulting here, right? Number three, you're ulting forward, and there's almost no cover in this general area from where you're ulting from versus this Magneto. So he should just straight up kill you if he's good. 1, 2. Oh, you're going to go there. Okay. Fair enough. You actually made the turn for that. Here's the problem with this. These guys are at their spawn. You get nothing out of this. You got 1 kill. And guess what? The cart's not moving. Do you know what also would have worked here? You could have saved your ultimate, not used it, held it, right? And you guys could have just healed through this whatever space is. Deadpool ult. That's not going to kill you. You could just heal straight through this. You got 3 healers now. You got Gambit. You have 3 healers now. You have you, Adam, and Sue. You guys are not dying to a random Gambit ult. Not Gambit, a random fucking Deadpool ult. You did not need to ult there. So that's the second time you've ulted for no reason. Okay, you need to follow this up. The moon. You need to... What the hell? Okay, that was sketchy. Let's talk about that one. You should have died there. You didn't, but let's talk about it. Okay. So, like I said, when Moon Knight ults, you got 2 options. When Moon Knight ults, you got 1 option. You fade out. That's it. That's all you do. You fade out, you leave. When he throws an Ankh, you got 2 options. You fade out or you drop bubble. The moon. When you hear the moon, you don't swap back like this. You fade. You should not be in this area. You completely fade out and try to back up or move forward, whichever way away from the ult it is. You drop bubble here, which almost gets you killed. You would have died if you weren't in triple support, but you're going to get away with this because it's triple support. Okay. Is there a guy behind you? No, I thought I heard one. Okay. Alright, we're holding. Okay, now you have Suzel and Adam. You just need to make sure that you don't let Jeff ult. And it's done. Or Jeff ult your team. Good blinds. Okay, we don't have to walk into this. We can let this go. We can let this go. Okay, alright, now be ready to bump. Okay, let it go. Well, whatever. He jumped out of his ult. You're fine. I just didn't want you to chase him, but you got it. That's fine. Okay, Emma probably shouldn't ult there because you already had won the fight, but whatever. It's fine. Okay, you have ult again. This game is over if you use your ultimate correctly here. I can tell these guys don't know what they're doing. Okay, somebody dies. Whatever. Okay, you've got 2 deaths. You may not be able to hold this, but it's 2-1. You might need to back up here. Emma is really deep. Oh, right, you have Adam. You're going to get bailed out anyway. It's the 3rd time. I think we're starting to see a pattern. People are creatures of repetition. You have an Adam ultimate here, keeping anybody who dies revived. Emma's about to die. Enough said. This, and I want to be very clear, these ults you're doing are like the same kind of ults that Celestial Cloak and Dagger did in that clip. These are not good Cloak and Dagger ults. These are very, very bad ones. These are very, 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 very bad ones. These are very, 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 very bad ones. You should die to Bucky here if he actually does this correctly. Okay, Bucky messed it up, but you should have died. So, why do we have to be very careful when we ult? And why do we never ult as Dagger? Because good players will knock your block off for doing this. Bucky misplayed this. This was a pick from you. Should have been a pick 6. Bucky hooks you properly, but he doesn't knock you out of the ult over here and then bop you in the head and kill you. Instead, you get back in your ult. You should never have been able to get back in your ult. You should have got bopped on your head and killed here. Again, you should never have ulted this either, because again, Adam just ulted. And look, she's back. Your ult accomplished absolutely nothing. So that's the 3rd time you've wasted your ultimate. 3rd time now. 3rd time. If you waste ultimates as a strategist, you will lose games. And if you do this in this game, you'll do this in every game. So in other games, you're just getting lucky and getting bailed out, basically. Okay, you're at their spawn, so just keep that in mind with what you do here. Also, their Jeff is trolling as heck. Like, I don't know why he's playing like this in Grandmaster, but holy hell, these ranks are... They need to fix these ranks. This is bad. That guy should not be able to get the Grandmaster throwing games the way he is on Jeff. Because that is a throw playing like that, but whatever. But, okay, you need to bubble or fade out. Okay, you just walk out, whatever. Okay. We don't need... See, look. See, look, this is exactly what I'm talking about. None of you guys are ulting in response to the Deadpool ult. Look at this. You're just walking out. You're literally just walking out. You need to fade. You need to fade. What am I watching? Oh, dear fucking lord. Okay, alright, let's get to this. This is panic, I think. Okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Their Jeff is dead, you're low. What do you do here? You have Sue to heal you, you just got soul bonded, but you're low. You get out of dodge. What would that mean? I would usually immediately swap the cloak. I would fade over here so I could have some cover. Or, in your case, I would turn around, right? Because you're actually right here. You could actually, I never play this area, but you should never be turned around like this, by the way. But anyway, you could turn around. When you turn back around, just move over here, and your Sue heals you. Or, yeah, just move over here, and your Sue heals you. Or move over here, and then walk for this health pack. You don't stay out in the open like this when you're this low. You do not stay out in the open like this. Your Sue is healing you. I don't know why you fade here. I don't know what that fade was for. But that fade was really bad. Why is that fade really bad? Okay, so let's talk about it. Look at this. You're low. You're really low. Sue's gone. Whatever. You don't need to fade here. All you need to do is stay Dagger. Sue's healing you. You're 174. You're automatically fine. So now you need to help Sue. So what do you do as Cloak and Dagger? You hit Sue with your primary. You patty cake. If you hit Sue right now as Cloak, you primary hit her, not only is it going to heal Sue, but it's going to explode, hit Sue for even more, and it's going to explode and hit you. And you're going to heal you two back up to full real quick. You're going to have enough time to probably throw your window over there to save Adam so he doesn't die. Adam dies anyway, so it's what it is. But if Sue dies here, this is your fault for not healing her. Because yeah, so that's your fault. You should have healed, so that's your fault that you should have healed Sue so she was never low enough for Bucky to kill her like this. Okay, you've wasted your blind already, your fade for no reason. This is all going to shit. You cannot stand here. You're probably going to die to this mag. If mag throws at you and kills you, it's your fault also. You cannot walk up like this. This is cooked. This fight is done. Get out. Get out. You're not fighting anything. You're going to stagger. You're going to stagger. You have no cooldowns. Get out. You just die for free. Okay. Let me look at this real quick. Was this guy behind you? The colors sometimes mess me up, unless he walked around. I thought that was your Bucky earlier. That's your Bucky. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, cool. Yeah, this was just a terrible series of events. You should not have let Sue die. You never should have been there. Shouldn't have wasted your fade. You shouldn't have wasted your ult. Yada yada yada. Okay. All right, so that's 3 ults this game that have all been game throwing ults. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna bet the next one's gonna be just as bad. No offense, but again, people are creatures repetition. Okay. You need to blind that. You need to look. You see all these people over here, just blind them. Good blind. We just fish with it. That's fine. We're here. We can blind again. We can blind again if we need it. Okay, you healing window. Whatever, that's fine. Okay, bubble maybe? Perfect, okay. Okay. You're building ult. Okay. Now, when you're playing defense, your only goal is to get this cart, have this cart stay where it is. That's it. Is the cart staying where it is right now? Yes. Okay. You don't have to do anything. You are playing. Okay. You don't have to do anything. The cart is still staying here. Deadpool's not going to kill anybody. Okay. Emma's ulting. Heal Emma. Keep Emma up in her ult. Perfect. Good job. God, dude. You're winning the fight, my brother. Adam is going to respawn and walk right over here. Look. They're all low from Bucky ult. There's no reason to do this. When you do this, what you do is you give the enemy support agency. Because you ult first, right? Because look, if the enemy Sue's team is dying, what is she going to do? Because they're losing this fight. This is basically your favor right now. Execute level, right? Sue's off to the side. What does she have to do to keep her team from getting executed here? Potentially. She has to ult. If she ults first and you ult after, your ult lasts longer, you kill them at the end. If you ult first, right, she can wait a second, ult after, and neutralize your ult and go 0 for 0. You don't want to give her 0 for 0 for free. Make her earn it. Make her work for it. This is a bad ult, again. And hopefully, thankfully you don't get mag ulted. But you see, Sue ults afterwards. So now you don't even know why you went that deep, by the way, because their whole team is back there. But anyway. And now you're out of the picture, right? Because you ulted. Which means Jeff can ult for free. And maybe your whole team dies here. Also, you're not standing in your ult by the way you do this, by the way. So you're just fighting Sue for no reason at her shield in the midst of the whole team. And you're going to die for free here, probably. Yeah, you're just going to die for free. All avoidable if you don't ult again for... that's your 4th ult. 4th, you're ulting because the button is ready. You're not understanding conceptually when and why you should ult as a support. And they win because of it.
2, 2, 1.
You could have won that game. They ulted 4 times. Every one of your ults were bad the entire game. That would be why you're struggling with Cloak and Dagger. That would do it. That would definitely do it. Yeah. That'll do it. Okay. All right. Well, let's wrap this up. I'm going to let you see my game. I'm probably going to leave. I'm going to let you watch it. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to send you a link to it, but yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's your VOD review. That explains that. Your ults need a lot of work. Positioning, cooldown usage, but it looks like your biggest thing right now is your ults are all over the place.